The first one is a test project. We will go through the test project, trying to understand typical tasks, trying to understand the typical structure of the of a test project. And at the second part, we will observe our marking scheme, trying to understand some aspects and trying to discuss them. That is our plan for today. I think it will be fast meeting. Okay. Do not, as usually, please ask me any questions at any time. You can write me in chat. You can use your voice, whatever you want.
Okay, Leonid, just a small thing before you start. Is there any tentative date for this competition? Not this one, like after this 5 days, the main event. Is there any estimated date? When
Uh,
will that happen?
yes, Parminka, we will have juniors. We will have a kind of Asia skills in July.
July.
Yes, July. I think 26, from 26 to 28 of July. I'm not
Okay,
sure. Let me check, please.
fine,
Something
sure.
is the end of July, as I
All right,
remember. Okay.
fine.
It
Please
will.
continue.
We will have our national competition from 21st of July to 25th of July. So
Okay,
maybe prior our national, maybe next to our national. I think
okay,
next day. Okay.
all right, fine,
Uh, I will ask our organizers and they will write in our chat the exact date.
fine.
Okay. Thank you. Uh, one moment, please. Um, what I would like to do. Sorry. Uh, I would like to share my screen with you with the test project. I will share the file in our group. One moment, please. Mhm. Sorry. This is our test project example. And now I'm going to share my screen. This. Okay, this is a test project from Global Skills Challenge. It was in April 2019 in Australia. This is a cover page. You see the name of the skill. You can see the name. No, you can see the name of competition, of course, Global Skills Challenge. Next line, our skill, and a kind of image. And next, it's a contents. We can see the abstract part and day-to-day tasks. Let's go. At the first page, we can see what is a steampunk. It's a definition from Wikipedia. So the test project is about steampunk. Let's go. Global Skills Challenge. Welcome to the Global Skills Challenge. And the objective. Sorry?
Sure, Leonie.
Yeah.
Uh, is this for the test for the official competition or for junior?
This is an official competition, not for junior.
Okay, okay,
I will provide you some information about junior skills. Uh,
okay,
in short, re- uh, we cut general test project and use it for junior skill. So there is no big discrepancy between junior skills and main competition. Just time and um, number of modules. I will show you.
okay. Thank you, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Objective. The objective of this challenge is to create two assets for a fictional game, Steamire. Background of the game. Uh, Here, test project creator um, provide the information about the game, about the gameplay, about the characters, about the environment, and so on. You can read. I wouldn't like to read for you. Um, I'm sure you can read. Um, okay, the brief. It's interesting part because it briefly describes what competitors should create. During the course of this competition, you will create two assets for the game, Adela and Adela's mask. Uh, Interesting detail. Adela, competitors need to create Adela from scratch. Draw sketches, concept art, then create 3D model and so on. And the minor model, Adela is a major model, and the minor model is a mask, and we have a kind of reference, and our competitors should copy the reference. So you will accurately model this mask from a reference. So they should get this reference and model it. Okay, deliverables overview, what our competitors should provide at the end. Two or more digital sketches, final concept art, asset list, a mask and requirements for mask, and Adela and requirements for Adela, and description of animation. Um, Deliverables schedule. What our competitors should provide at the end of each day. At the first day, our competitors should create concept art and model and minor model and asset list for two models. What is the asset list? Asset list is a file with a kind of plan of work with a budget of triangles and texture sheets. Um, I think, one moment, please. I would like, maybe I have, um, no, I don't have, sorry. I will prepare the asset list and I will show you how it looks like. Um, Sorry. Okay. The second day deliverables is our competitors should finish their models, finish minor model, it is a mask, and finish Adela sculpting and retopology. So at the end of the second day, I mean experts, should assess two models. And the third day, our competitors should provide for us UV map and textures. They should unwrap their models, both models, of course, and create textures with a texture map and so on. And at the fourth day, they should create rig, animate it, and put in game engine. That's it. This is a typical schedule for international competition for main age. Okay, let's go through the test project and let's observe the day one. Concept art and modeling. Day one overview. So our competitors should focus the first day on the of competition is to create the concept art for Adela. Uh, Let me notice they shouldn't create concept art for mask because they have reference. And also they should start modeling of the mask. Let's come back to the previous page. Look at this. Experts assess models at the end of the day two. So at the first day, our competitors should start a model, but experts don't assess model at the end of the day one. Okay, day one brief. Create the concept for Adela, it's a dog. Create an assets list for the competition, it's just a file, and begin modeling the mask. Uh, Adela concept, there is some interesting information about this dog. It's a pit bull or Rottweiler. See the refer. Well, sorry, I need to make this. Yes, it's a kind of this reference, and we have some specifications. Uh, it's genetically modified from a breed such as a pit bull or Rottweiler, enhanced rear leg, prehensile tail, and battle scar or scars. Uh, and the concept, I'm sorry, I would like to ask our friends to mute the sound. Thank you very much. Safam, could you please, as I see the sound is from your side. Okay, concept must consist of two variations, digital sketches, and one final digital full-color art piece. So our competitor at this competition should provide us two different sketches with two different ideas, and one final concept art based on sketches. Your final art.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
sorry. Can I ask a question relevant
yes,
to this point? I hope
yes,
it doesn't disturb. Yeah.
yes, sure.
My competitor, like my student, was asking one relevant question here. That in this stage, when we have to submit two digital sketches, so can we draw using some software like in which you can use the pen tab. I mean, you can use the pen tool and anchor points. Like it's not a freehand drawing, but it's a drawing like we do in Illustrator. For example, we do in Illustrator, we use pen tool and we use anchor points to
Uh-huh,
draw vector curves. Like
uh-huh.
that type of illustration is okay or not. The illustration done digitally using vector graphics, using anchor points, Bezier points.
Okay, thank you. I understand your question. Uh, I will divide my answer into two parts. The first part. Yes, your competitor can use any tool from the tool pane of Photoshop, whatever he wants. Bezier, I forget, the freehand, pen, brush, whatever he wants, he or she. But uh, there is two restrictions. I think two. Okay, there is some restrictions. The first one, our competitor mustn't use reference to draw their own sketches and concept art. What I mean, they, um, for example, some competitors get reference, put it on the layer underneath layer, create layer over there, and
Trace it. They
trace,
trace it.
trace,
Trace it.
yes,
Yeah.
trace, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
This prohibited. Don't do this. But our competitors can put the reference on the first screen and opens Photoshop on the second screen. Look at the one screen on the reference and draw on the in the Photoshop. It's okay. He draw himself. He or she draws himself. It's okay. Also, then the second restriction, some competitors cheat with how to say, um, template models from ZBrush. So they get a template from ZBrush, make print screen, put on the Photoshop and trace the
Trace it.
model. Yes, it's prohibited. We would like to understand how competitor can draw himself, uh, how he is skilled in painting, not in tracing. But when he or she draws, he or she can use any tool. Okay,
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
thank you for a question. Okay, we have a kind of requirement. This is a size of a page of not page, sorry. Yes, page size in Photoshop and DPI. Um, and final concept art should give an idea of perspective and proportion of scale. This is a very interesting phrase, because some competitors, let me show you, one moment please. I will show you my screen and start an awesome software. This is Paint, Microsoft Paint. Okay. For example, I work with the mouse, so this is my concept art. Sorry. Uh, whoop, whoop. Okay, this is my concept art, and that's it. We can't understand, I mean experts, we can't understand the scale of this character. Okay, if this is a man, a human, we can understand the average height. But what if our task was create a kind of, I don't know, maybe transformer, something like this. Okay, something like this. Tatanana. uh, what is the size? So our competitors should create a kind of scale, something like this, 1 and 2 meters. For example, or for this maybe artificial character, maybe this is a gnome, maybe this is a host, I don't know, 1 and 7 meters. So uh, give draw your attention at this phrase proportion or scale, and concept art should be in perspective view and use colors, blending and smoothing of colors. Sketches, they can be black and white, but final concept art should be in color. Okay, asset list. This is the second part of the day one. We should provide names of assets and elements to be created for each of Adela and the mask, and texture sheet size for Adela and her mask, and estimated triangle budget for the various elements of Adela and of the mask. One moment, please. I will ask our national team member to send me a file. Мария, Мария, можешь прислать, пожалуйста, скриншот, как выглядит ассет-лист? Прямо, можно даже на русском. Прямо сейчас тележечку. Спасибо. One moment, please. I will show you asset list. And as I said previously, competitor at the first day should start the work. He or she, not should, he may start the work on the mask modeling. We have a triangle budget, and that's it. The mask model will not be marked until the end of day 2. We discuss about this and about the mask. This image is your reference. You should create the mask based on this reference. So our competitors should just make 3 model based on this reference. That's it of day 1. So we have a summary of day 1. By the end of today, you will need to deliver concept art, at least 2 digital sketches, and final digital
Hmm?
I think
I think we lost him.
Leonid,
Yeah,
yeah, lost the connection.
yeah,
So we are
we,
all right, but Leonid lost the connection.
yeah, we already lost him.
yes, I need to. So
Welcome back.
thank you. I'm sorry. Uh, this is restrictions, page size, and DPI, and asset list, and the day 1 marking guide. This is a very important thing for our competitors. They can use this as a checklist. By the rule, we shouldn't provide aspects for our competitor. We should provide them just criterions and sub-criterions names. So A1, B1, and so on. And provide for them aspects in general, what they should to do. PSD tightness, named layers, and sensible folder structure. We don't say the exact phrase from aspect. We we give them an advice. Draw your attention at PSD tightness. As at least written, just draw your attention, you write down the asset list, and it include triangle budget and texture sizes. Прислала? Нет. Okay, sorry. Um, and at the end, we have maximum points. So this is a sum of these marks from day one. So at the end of day one, our competitor can get 16 tons, 16 points. This is the end of day one. Uh, and let me show you an asset list. One moment. This is a asset list. Sorry. We have a budget polygon, budget triangle budget for major model for each part, body, hands, legs, head. At the sum, it must be under the restriction, of course. And we have a kind of budget and plan for textures for major, for body, for attributes, and for minor, something like this. That's it. This is an asset list, our typical asset list. So our competitor should create file like this. Let me send this file in our chat. Okay. Maybe you have some questions about day one.
Yes, I have one question.
Yes, please.
So in India, when we take a competition like the round level 4, level 5, national level, the budget, triangle budget should be 90%, should be about 90% to the original triangle budget. Is the same thing, like if it's more around 90 to 95%, we mark it, like we give him the points.
Thank you for this question. Let's discuss this question on the second part. Okay.
Oh, okay, sure, no problem.
When we discuss on marking scheme. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, about day one. No. Okay. Day two, modeling. We continue to work, of course. Day two overview. This is a modeling day. Our competitors should finish modeling the mask and create 3D model for major model. It's Adela, a dog. In brief, we have task description. Adela should be sculpted and then retopologized and must remain with a 10,000 triangle limit. About something about edge loops, about topology. So draw your attention at these, dear competitor, read, then reread, and then read once again. I ask my students in any competition, read the test project at least 3 times. Because sometimes they skim the page. They think, oh, I know the task. I understand everything. What is the triangle limit? 10,000. Okay, I will go. But they really need to go into details. Sometimes details are very important. Okay, day two deliverables. Experts at the end of the day two, experts will assess model of the mask, maximum 5,000 triangles, and model of Adela, maximum 10,000 triangles. Marking guide, and that's it. we will discuss. Um, we will discuss it on the second part. Maybe some questions about day two.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
Leon.
Uh, since we are having online competition, how will students submit their projects online?
Sorry, how they what?
How do they submit their works online?
Ah,
We,
I see. I think it's a good idea to send their works through the Telegram to chief expert to not mix the files. Uh, I will gather all works and we will open them and uh, make a kind of assessment. Not real
Mhm.
assessment, but uh, how to say demo assessment.
Okay.
I think this is not a competition.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's a good idea. What do you think? It's a good idea maybe to send all files in our group, in Telegram group, and each one can observe and, their files and files from other competitors to see their mistakes or share their vision. What do you think? In
Uh,
competition, we divide files, so competitors can't see the files, the results of other competitor.
mhm.
But this is not a competition, so
Yeah.
we can mix them. What do you think?
Yes, maybe
Uh,
on the finally they should be able to see. Maybe during the
Okay,
process may not be, but at the end they should be able to see each other's.
I agree. I agree with you because this is not a competition and we need to train. So
Yeah.
observe observe works. It's a kind of training.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
yeah, and maybe
Sir,
we can, maybe we should
uh,
try some the process. I mean, how will they submit their projects? Maybe all the competitors they have no idea how to do it.
I think you can help your competitor make an
How many?
archive, archive, archive. I don't know in English this word, zip or rar,
Okay,
and send this file. I think it's okay. It's not a competition. Relax.
sure.
Take it easy.
Okay, okay.
Um,
yes, sir. Sir, I
yes,
have a couple questions.
yes, please.
Yes, sir. Up there, it was mentioned that we need to use some kind of like we need to export the model in the end into a engine.
Yes.
Uh, so the first question relates to like it does it have to be a game engine or can we use like a rendering engine in a external software to display our model in like the best of its capabilities?
Nikolish, thank you for your question. Uh, let me let me think how to answer. We have a kind of infrastructure list, and we have only Unity and Unreal Engine. This is the game engines. So we should expert in only in these game engines, not in other software. We restricted by infrastructure list,
Okay,
and
sir.
and the task is to expert in game engine.
Okay, sir. And
Limit
another
actually,
question.
yeah. Nicholas, please continue.
Yes.
Yes.
My last question is that in the list of softwares that we can use to model texture and do whatever, like basically complete the competition, only Max and Maya was specified. Can we use other softwares like Blender and ZBrush if possible?
Uh, well, ZBrush is in our infrastructure list, not in this demo competition, not in this training, but ZBrush is our one of our main software. So yes, we can use it during competition. But Blender is prohibited. I'm sorry, because of Autodesk is a chief sponsor of World Skills. So Blender is not allowed in our competition.
So in July, I mean the one that will be in Asia, like for that competition also Blender will be prohibited.
Sorry, on
I
our
mean,
nation.
I mean, I mean, you were doubtful yesterday about Asia competition,
Yes.
like whether it'll be allowed in that or not.
Ah, I understand your question. Well, I need to get proof from our organizers. If they approve this, uh, why not? We can use Blender.
Because that is a very important query, because our student competitor is very good in Blender, because actually under 17 students are mostly exploring with open source, because they are
Mhm,
not into any commercial, I mean the mainstream courses. So
mhm,
if this competition is for under 17 students, so those are, there is high chance that they are good in Blender only. So Nikhilesh is one of them. He's very good in Blender. He explored it himself, because a student till class 10th can explore in open source softwares only. He cannot be buying Maya or Max.
mm. I understand. I understand your point. Absolutely the same problem in Russia because Autodesk's software is very expensive, and our students can't buy this software, and they use Blender to learn the 3D modeling, but in competition they need to uh, learn once again the software.
Yes.
And I understand your question. I will ask our organizers if they can, how to say in English. Um, sorry.
If
Mm,
they can allow, they can adjust.
if if Autodesk will allow
Allow.
Blender during our national competition, because it will be a part of national competition, I will be happy and we will put Blender in our infrastructure list. But
Even the World Skill Asia is also being sponsored by Autodesk.
as I know,
Sorry.
yes, yes,
Yes. Okay.
Autodesk is the sponsor of World Skills all over the world.
So
The
there is
best
very
thing.
less chance they will allow Blender, I guess, if that is the
I
case.
hope so. I hope so. Uh, I will ask our organizers. Let me write this. One moment, please. I will write
Yeah,
this.
please, please. This is important, very important.
Марин, а в блендере насколько сложно нам оценивать? Надо будет спросить про блендер на национальном чемпионате. Может быть, нам разрешат. Потому что, ну, по идее, организаторы. Ну, тут видишь, вопрос же в спонсорстве. Если Autodesk опять скажет, что мы спонсоры, мы не хотим. О, ты понимаешь? Окей. Sorry. Okay. Welcome back. Uh, I see something in chat. Um, there is a way to get Autodesk Phone free for students for 1 year. I'm using
Yeah,
Autodesk.
Hitesh is saying that its
Yes,
educational version is available for 1 year, something like
yes,
that.
there is a kind of student license or
Yes,
academic
they provide. Yes,
license.
they provide. But
But
still, we will have many students who are good with Blender. That is the one thing that if you want to keep them out of this competition,
mhm,
that's our call.
it's not very easy to get a student license. You need to
Hmm.
prove that you are a student with an email of university and so on. Okay, let's go to the day 3. It's a very hard day. Today you will unwrap and texture both the mask and Adela. Um, in brief, they should, I mean, of course, our competitors, they should create two separate texture sheets uh, with these restrictions, 1K and 4K. Uh, do not share one sheet, and also create ideally PBR textures and use different materials, for example, glass, leather, brass, metal, skin, fur, and so on. The deliverables of the day 3, textures for the mask, and different maps, diffuse maps, ambient occlusion, normal, opacity, and so on, textures for Adela, relevant maps, and 2 texture sheets. File types, this is a kind of guidance. Save UV snapshots and save maps as PSD and Targa files. And marking guide. This from old version, and now we ask our competitor use Targa format. That's it. And day 4, the end of the competition. All competitors at this day very, very tired, of course. They cry. They would like to relax. They cry, I would like to go home to my mom. um, but we ask them to make the final uh, effort. Okay, day 4 overview, animation, rigging and animation, and work with game engine. They should create at least 2 bones. Yes, place at least 2 bones inside Adela's tail. They should use forward kinematic and inverse kinematic, and they must use keyframes to create simple animation. Animation must be looped, um, at least animated tail, but our competitors can choose themselves what to animate, maybe ears. For animation, at least 3 seconds. 60 frame per second. Also, they must, they are experts at Della and mask into a game engine, pose the model, tune the light, the environment, and so on. And that's it. Of course, examine in game engine, the UV doesn't have different mistakes and animation works properly. Okay,
Hmm. Okay, Taiwan.
sorry. Animation with at least 2 bones, animation exported as FDX, and lead model within mask in game engine. And marking guide. That's it for day 4. and some rules, some regulations about inspiration of this project, and that's it. Uh, Australian expert contact. You can contact with David. He's awesome guy. You can chat with him. You can write him a letter. He's very friendly person, so make a friendship with him. He's very sunny person from Australia. Uh, Let me show you a Russian national uh, Russian national. This is, of course, it's in Russian, but you will see the structure is absolutely the same. A test project for the national competition, 3D modeling, 3D digital game art. This is my signature. This is content. As usually, the main part, abstract, and day 1, day 2, day 3, our national lasts for 3 days, not 4 days. This is kangaroo, of course. This is for reference. Welcome to the national competition. We wish you good luck. The task, you will have 3 days and you will have 21 hours for the task, and you will create a model for the computer game. The description of the game, Cyberpunk 2077. It's an action RPG, and about the game, Cyberpunk definition. This is a fantastic sphere and so on. And brief task, you will create 2 models, major, sorry. Yes, 2 models, major. It's a kangaroo with this triangle budget, and the minor model is a gun with this triangle budget. Okay, this is a schedule C1, the first day of competition. The work result or deliverables, concept arts and model, sketches, asset list, and minor model. The second day, model, UV, unwrap, and textures. So our competitors should create 3D major model, UV, textures, textures for minor model, and different maps you can see here. And the third day is about rigging, animation, and game engine, animation, and expert. And this is day 1, sketching, concept, and modeling, the briefing with this, I'm sorry, with these restrictions and deliverables, sketches, concept, asset list, and minor model. And recommendations, it's a kind of, sorry, it's a kind of guidance from here, marking guidance. Day 2, the same, and day 3 animation, the same. This is instructions for our competitors and references at the end of the test project. And this is a kangaroo photo to to understand what kangaroo is. Maybe someone kangaroo is not a typical animal in Russia, so someone doesn't know what is kangaroo, and this is robot kangaroo. Good luck. That's it. And let me show you um, junior skills test project from this year. This is a test project for junior. From this year, they already have the final competition, national final competition. And you will see the difference between main competition and junior skills. They have only 2 days, and as you can see, the structure is absolutely the same. The abstract part and day 1, day 2, absolutely the same. And trolls. This is a task. Create trolls. Who is the trolls? They have 8 hours and 4 plus 4 uh, 4 hours on first day and 4 hours in second day. Brief task, only major model. There is no minor model for juniors with a budget. At the first day, they should create concept art and model, 3 digital sketches, final concept art, and asset list. And at the second day, they should create, I'm sorry, they shouldn't create UV, they should create only model, 3D model. That's it for juniors. And this is day
Okay, so
1.
for juniors, there is no texture, lighting, and exporting to the game engine, nothing.
Well, it's an interesting question. In our national, they had only concept art and modeling, but we can choose models. Oh, sorry, not models, modulars from our world skills occupational standard. For example, in the first day, we can ask our junior competitors to create model, and at the second day, we can ask them to create UV, or we can provide them 3D model and ask them at the first day create UV, and at the second day ask them to create textures. We have 2 days and 2 simple tasks.
Okay, so we can shuffle, like they should be ready with all the skills. We can be putting any skill on test.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Our competitors should they should be prepared for any task.
Anything.
For
Yes.
example, it might be create at the first day, please create sketches and concept art. And on the second day, it's a little bit weird, but okay, we can ask them, this is a 3D model, please create animation. It's
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
it's normal task.
Right. Right.
That's it, day 1. Absolutely the same structure, day 2, instructions and reference. That's it. We will have the same test project. We will have just sketching, simple sketching and simple model, because we have only 3 hours and we need to create, to make task and to make a kind of assessment, at least demo assessment. So the task will be very simple, but I hope it will be interesting. Okay, that's it about task, about our test project. Maybe you have some questions, and if you would like, I can send you our test projects, but it's in Russian, sorry. But you can use it. It's absolutely understandable. If you
Okay,
use translation in English, it will be absolutely understandable.
right.
Excuse
Okay.
me.
Yes.
I was wondering, during the emulation, can each country have the translator or
Uh,
interpreter?
in this training, or no?
Yes, yes.
Ah, if you would like to have a translator, interpreter, yes, please.
Okay.
Uh, there is an interesting situation. In World Skills international competition, interpreters are allowed, but World Skills International trying to ban interpreters and say you all must know English. Uh, People from Asian country, from African countries, they say, "What? It's not fair because we don't know English. This is not our native language, and interpreter it's a help for us." So during the international competition, uh, it's okay to have interpreter. But in WorldSkills Europe, interpreters it's strictly prohibited. Experts and competitors must speak English. Uh, in WorldSkills Asia, as I know, interpreters are allowed. So yes, please use interpreters. Help. We have interpreter here, Tagir. He helps me sometimes
Can he
because
interpret Chinese?
yeah, because no, as I know, he doesn't know Chinese. Tagir, do you know Chinese?
Nope, unfortunately, I'm only here to help you with some English.
Okay, okay. Um,
A
well,
blunt no, a blunt no from him.
you can use interpreter, please. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you.
Um, well, guys, I suggest you to make a small break for 10 minutes. Is it okay? Okay, let's make a break. I'm here. You can write me. And after the break, we will move to the second part about marking scheme.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, see you, see you.
So
Online, I wanted to read it once again.
which kind of documentation?
The one that you read the first time, like the very first time, that was all written in English. That had the Adela dog and the steampunk game.
Actually, it has been, Niklesh, it has been shared on the Telegram group. It has
Yeah,
been
Okay.
shared.
from
Yeah,
that's
yeah. So you just join the Telegram group. Otherwise, I'll forward it to you.
Okay, sir. I'm just downloading it
Yes.
right now then.
Yes.
it's okay.
Sure.
Okay. Let me show you secret document. Um, I don't have English version for marking scheme file, so I can share with you with the screen sharing document. This is a marking form from WorldSkills Kazan international competition for my competitor Alexei. This is his name, and this is marking team. I was in that marking team. Okay, let's start. We need to go across this document and at least read the names of the aspects. Okay. Uh, the A1 subcriterion, PSD tightness, and the first aspect, it is measurable. We can see M here, max mark. If the answer will be yes, our competitor will have 1 point. Um, layers and folders have been given appropriate rather than default names in any language. Um, so competitors should rename folders and layers and do not use default name layer 1, folder 1, but there is only one layer default name of the layer we can leave. It's a background because there is no other word in English for background. Background is a background. So uh, we can leave it. But if the competitor, if competitor rename it, for example, not background but BG, it's okay. Okay, the next A2, the subcriterion about Max Meyer scene organization, and the aspect. Uh, it's a measurable aspect. Geometry used for testing or unassigned to the model should be removed from the final scene. So the scene should be clean. Competitor should remove all unnecessary objects from the scene. The problem from our last national, our competitors leave sculpt in the scene, create retopology, but leave a sculpt. And this is a mistake because sculpt is unnecessary part of the sculpt or of the retopology model. Okay, the next A3, correct texture sheet sizes and formats. Measurement 1. Aspect ratio of texture sheets are correct. Both minor and major models use the suggested texture sizes according to brief. As you remember, we have 1K for minor and 4K for major model. And the second one, PSD saved as Targa format and applied to model. Um, it's about exporting to Targa format, of course, not PSD, because this is about textures from Substance Painter or Substance Designer. We export files as Targa. That's it. Next. All tasks completed on time. Each module every day must be finished to achieve this mark. We have a kind of tradition in our skill. Each competitor marked as yes for this criterion because Of course, when the chief expert says stop, everyone stops. So, of course, they finish the task. But honestly, I don't remember anyone who doesn't mark with yes for this aspect. Okay, B1, asset list. The first asset list is written. An asset list should be digitally created. So it's just about the file. We should open the folder and trying to find asset list. If there is a file, yes, we must put yes for this aspect. And the second one, asset list includes polygon budgets and texture sizes. And the asset list should contain polygon budget and texture sizes for each asset that needs creating. For each, it's important. For example, if competitor provide a set list only for major model, but we have minor model in the test project, it's an error. So we can't mark with yes. Okay, B2, organic object sculpted, then retopologized. Measurable. Organic objects should use sculpting software. For example, Mikelesh, you have asked me about ZBrush. So this is about ZBrush. Organic objects should use sculpting software and then retopologize it to meet the triangle budget. Yes or no? First of all, our competitors create uh, sculpt and then create retopology, make retopology. Hard surface object use of PBR. Hard surface objects should use physics-based rendering materials. Yes or no? Next one, art style. Consistent through all assets. It's important aspect because we have the style of the game and all assets should be in one style. The art style set out in the brief and a companion scene should be made for created assets. So all assets are in one style. Yes or no? Very simple, as you can see. Okay, uh, the next one, big module C, is sketching and concept art. First of all, experts should assess judgment aspects and then measurement. It's a it's not a rule, but it is a very strong recommendation. Um, as you can see, we can see marks from each uh, jury member. Someone put 3. It's a very high mark, and I must say uh, I'm very proud of my competitor, Alexei. He marked for this module. He got the maximum marks among other competitors for sketching and concept art. Okay, uh, J1 judgment for C1. Max Mark II, digital painting demonstrates shading and describes the form of the objects. And for each of Mark 0, 1, 2, 3, we have a kind of guidance. What does it mean? We should put 0 if there is no use of shading or hatching on the sorry on the concept art. We should put 1 if there is slight use of shading or hatching, 2 some use, and 3 shading that accentuates the 3D shape. Awesome using of shading, awesome using of hatching, and so on. Working with colors. No use, pure use, good use that enhance the design. Selected design turns into a piece of art that informs the look of the minor asset. The final design should be a digital painted piece of art and not a sketch. So concept art should have color, should have light, shadow, should have a lot of details. And this is a guidance. Properties of physical materials. So if we have a human, for example, me, this is a texture. And for example, belt. On me, it's a leather. For example, I don't know if I will wear sunglasses, this is a glass, and so on. So concept art should show different physical materials. And this is a guide. Okay. And this is a measurement for sketching and for concept art. Digital sketch explores at least 3 ideas. So we should open the folder of our competitor and just count. 1, 2, 3. Yes, there is 3 digital sketches. So we can mark 3. Interesting thing, at least 3 ideas. So uh, if if competitor uh, has drawn, for example, 3 sketches, but they are very same. It's not 3 different ideas. It's one idea, but 3 sketches. We need to see. We should to see 3 different ideas. For example, if this is a human, one human is tall and very athletic. One, it's like me, very horizontally challenged and very not very tall, short. And the third one, I don't know, he's alcoholic, for example. So this is 3 different ideas and 3 different sketches. Okay, uh, digital painting demonstrates perspective. Uh, I think you understand this. Digital painting indicates proportion. Do you remember we use I showed you a kind of ruler. This is about this aspect. Proportion need be demonstrated using the concept in relation to something else in the scene or a human figure, because we know the average human height. It's 1 meter and 70 centimeter, as I remember. The final concept art features blend and smoothing to represent form, and digital painting document size and DPI is correct. As you remember, we have the size of the page and DPI in our test project. So according to the brief, our competitor should create not sketch, sorry, concept art. For example, very usual situation. Competitor creates awesome, absolutely awesome concept art, but he or she use, for example, 1980 pixels to 180. This is an error. We can't mark yes because it doesn't accord to brief. The next is D. It's aspect about modeling. We start from judgment. I wouldn't like to go through each one. I will send this file to you, of course, without marks, because they are in secret. Uh, only, only competitor knows the mark, and he's compatriot expert. Okay, what interesting part in D1? It's about minor, triangle distribution, about edge flow, and about the vignette scene. Um, and measurement criterion, mine and asset meet the triangle polygon, no n-gons, no flip normals, and appropriate use of chamfered edges. It's very popular mistake. So draw your attention, please, at this aspect. About the triangle budget, as I remember, there was a question about the triangle budget. For example, about minor model, um, mask from our example should be 5,000 triangles. So uh, we need, requirement refer to the brief. I don't know where is the description, but um, let me check once again. Yes, model utilizes 19 plus percent triangle budget for minor. So uh, if our budget is 5,000, so the 19% is, let me think, 4,500. So if our minor model utilizes more than 4,500 triangles, it's okay. We can mark yes. Uh, Very interesting question. What if our mask is 5,001 triangle? So we exceed the triangle budget. Well, for this aspect, I think we should mark yes. But for this aspect, meets the triangle budget, we should put no, because we exceed the triangle budget. And it's a D3, it's about major modeling. No n-gons, no flipped normals, appropriate use of chamfered edges. Model utilizes 90 plus percent, and major set displays appropriate and sufficient iterations of segments on the rounded or curves, I think, or curved parts. I think it's a kind of mistake.
Curves. Curve.
Ah, yes. Sorry. Um, that's it. Major asset modeling. It's a B part. The second part for other group. Major asset distribution of triangles, edge flow, silhouette, because the silhouette is very important in games. Style, of course, because our model should meet with the style, resemble the art style. Uh, Very nice word in English, resemble, conforms, and accentuates. And that's about the sculpting. There is no sculpt, and the three sculpt model has good details with good consideration and so on. Okay, E, UV unwrapping. What about UV? Smooth and even UV shells. And the guidance, UV spacing to maximize texture sheets used without bleeding. Uh, about this free space on the sheet, because skilled unwrapper, skilled person should shouldn't leave a lot of free space. Okay, next one. Major asset repeats UV or mirrors them where possible. For example, if we have a human character, we have right hand, we have left hand, and we shouldn't create, if they are absolutely the same, we shouldn't create two different shells in UV. We should uh, um, sorry, we should put them all together, each each other one by one. Um, the next one, major asset has good use of textile density. For example, if we speak about the human, um, the texture density for a face is more important than textile density for example, for feet. It's obvious, I think. Major acid groups, similar diffuse colored shells near each other. It's about texture bleeding and major asset UV unwrapping measurement aspects. Major asset has been unwrapped in Max Maya. What does it mean? It means uh, student doesn't use, competitor doesn't use automatic unwrap. He must use, he must create unwrap himself. UV coordinates exported to Photoshop or Substance as target. That's it. Minor asset UV unwrapping, absolutely the same criterions. No, sorry, not criterions, aspects. Quality of the texturing. Texture is consistent with art style. This is very important aspect. A variety of physical materials have been represented. As you remember, we have spoken about materials in C1 on concept art, but here is a textures, and textures must be conformed to physical materials with a shining, roughness, um, and so on. Um, one moment, please. Sorry, I'm here. Appropriate texture details, such as dirt, wear, and tear, are applied onto the texture. So textures should have details. Why? Uh, I have a very interesting um, discussion with an expert in texturing. He works for Blizzard, and he says very interesting thing. Each thing in the world has uh, its own history, prehistory. Scratches, different damages, dirt, wear, and so on. Wrinkles, maybe. And it's interesting to show them on the texture. And uh, The thing with these details doesn't look as a brand new. It looks as a thing with a history. So this aspect is about the history of anything, any artifact. Okay, this is a measurement aspect. Specular or metal map created, shyness and glows are described through an appropriate mapping engine. Normal map, roughness or smoothness map, ambient occlusion map, and two or more base colors have been used on the texture sheet. Sorry. Um, Comprehensive usage of texture map. Uh, Judgment is about opacity. For example, where to use opacity sunglasses, clothes damaging, or maybe even a hair or fur. Oh, sorry, fur. Yes, fur. Um, so opacity is very important. Uh, then height or displacement map created, smart masks used in Substance Painter, and settings adjusted for variation in PBR textures in Substance Painter. It's about our competitor uh, tune some settings to accentuate the art style, to accentuate some interesting things, and he or she doesn't leave default settings because default settings it's not very good. Rigging is about the rigging, and forward or inverse kinematic are set up as a chain of bonds. As you can see, competitor will mark 3 if you have inverse kinematic, and inverse kinematic, uh, not kinematic bonds, of course, have constraints. And the second judgment is about the bonds and mesh. Bonds should be, oh, sorry, mesh shouldn't, sorry, it's another one aspect. This aspect about the deformation of mesh in animation. So competitors should add skin modifiers, and appropriate bonds are built to allow movement, and the bonds have been adjusted to be hidden inside the geometry. Uh, I've told about this aspect. Bonds have been adjusted to be hidden inside the geometry. For example, if you have a leg, of course you can hide bone inside the leg. It's not very hard. But what if you have I don't know, mm, a cloth, for example, Macintosh cloth, coat. It has zero uh, zero depth, and you can't hidden a bone inside this material. It's not a mistake. It's okay. All experts understand this, and don't worry about the zero height uh, artifacts. You can't hide bone inside because it's just a point. So point on the point. Okay, it's about the animation. Uh, Keyframes are created, uh, and competitor will mark with 3 if he or she use impressive use of simple animation. So a lot of keyframes, and measurement aspects, animation with the animation keys exported, the animation loops without popping. The main part here we have two important things: the animation loops, and there is no popping between last frame and the first frame. Animation duration and frame rate are correct according to brief, and evidence of animation principles applied to animation. What kind of animation principles? Uh, for example, very famous 12 animation principles by Walt Disney. You can find the video on YouTube, animation principles, and you will understand all 12 principles. And the last part, hooray! Model set up correctly in the game engine. Judgment. The model is set up in engine to show it off with appropriate lighting that accentuates the asset. Of course, um, competitors should pose the model and should choose the best angle, should use appropriate light, and so on. So he or she shouldn't leave default settings. And the measurement models textured and visible in engine viewport. Yes or no? Is the model in game engine. And the last part, no errors occur in the engine. No UV errors occur in the model in engine perspective view. Of course, experts start the animation and trying to find UV errors, and no deformation errors on the animated asset. Of course, we use animation as well for this aspect. That's it. We went through the marking scheme for our skill. Maybe you have some question. I would be glad to answer. No. Okay. Yes, it was a little bit. It was a little bit hard to hear a lot of aspects, a lot of new words. I understand. I will send this file to you.
Yes, once we go through the document, maybe some thing might come in the mind. We need to
Yes.
study it now. Yeah.
Okay, I will send it to you. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much for your questions. Thank you.
Excuse me,
In the first part, you
I
was.
have a question.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I was wondering, will we get the time schedule about the competition? I mean, the emulation,
About what? About competition?
the time schedule
The time schedule, yes, for what?
for the emulation.
For emulation.
Yeah,
Well, interesting question. We will have 3 hours.
yeah,
I-
but you
I
know,
think,
if we have to translate some document for the competitors, maybe we should have more time to arrange it, right?
yes, I think we will have 2 hours for our competitors to give them a chance to make a test project, and 1 hour for us to make an assessment or demo assessment. Let me um, let,
And also, when will we get the test project?
you would like to get test project before the competition. Okay, I need to, Tagir, I'm sorry, I need your help. I forget word in English. Оформить. Мне нужно оформить.
Какой контекст?
Смотри, у меня есть тестовое задание, тест-проект. То есть он готов в виде черновика, типа драфт у меня есть. А мне нужно его оформить в чистовую. Вот когда я его оформлю, я им скину.
So what Leonid is saying is that he needs to arrange and finish the test project because he has something like a sketch, and in case he would like to have the full version of it, like the clean and reusable one, he will finish it and send it to you directly.
Thank you very much, Tagir. Yes, I have a draft, and I will try to send the final test project tomorrow. Okay? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Leon. Thank you, Tagir, for interpretation. Okay. Yes, I see Tum. Tum Bob. Okay, thank you very much for this meeting. Thank you for your questions. I hope it was helpful for you. Tomorrow, we will talk about the competition conduct, how to conduct the competition. That's it. I think that's it. Hope you will spend your time well, and see you tomorrow at the same time at 9 Moscow time.
Yeah, Leonard, we would like to thank you again for
Thank you.
the effort, full 3 hours effort to explain us. You explained very nice. You manage English very well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye, friends.
Okay,
Bye-bye. Thank
bye,
you,
bye,
Leonard.
bye, bye.
Bye-bye.
Good day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ир, спасибо. Александра, можно заканчивать, можно выключать.
Хорошо, до свидания.
Да, спасибо, пока.
Всего до завтра.